it's difficult to be in a bad mood around Richard. He's just always up. He's always in a good mood. Even when things are business is, it's not business as usual with Richard. He continues to make people feel comfortable, and we have a little bit of fun, even though we get done what we need to get done.
The words that come to mind with Richard are, first of all, enthusiasm. He is enormously creative. He is so generous and with great kindness.
Because of his influence as a professor and teaching the young and teaching the incoming generation, so it's not just about those of us that have been in the industry for a while, he continues to keep it fresh and to share his knowledge with the professionals that are going to be taking over when we're no longer around. And I think, again, that takes a special individual to be able to do that. And young people listen to him, which is also, I think, kind of unique.
Richard Aaron deserves this induction because amongst all of the people who have preceded him, he stands on the shoulders of the men and women who have had a firm commitment and belief that bringing people together through meetings and events to grow the economy, to grow social connections, to improve the environment is incredibly important and will, over time, prove that it is one of the lasting values that our generation has contributed to the world.
Richard is so deserving of this award, not only because of Richard being an incredible person, but because it says something about the industry and how it's all morphing together, and that how the skills of meetings and the skills of events and festivals and concerts are all working together. The CIC really is the future, the combination of the entire world of face-to-face gatherings and how it fits into the digital age. So we are more optimistic than ever, and I think Richard getting this award signifies the potential of the industry and not just the past of the industry.
When I think about the length and breadth of my wonderful friendship with Richard Aaron, I'm reminded of Dr. James Hutton, one of the fathers of the Scottish Enlightenment period. He's the man who discovered the field of geology, and when the church asked him, "How old is the earth?" Dr. Hutton responded by saying, "There's no vestige of a beginning, no prospect of an end." And that's the way I feel about my friendship with Richard. I really don't know where it began, and it will never end.
Richard has impacted the industry in so many ways, primarily because of his creativity, for his willingness to share his ideas, so he doesn't have the need to keep everything to himself. He shares willingly as a volunteer, as a teacher, as a committee member, as a member of the industry. He inspires others, and you can't help but become sort of infected with his enthusiasm. So he's had an enormous impact on so many people over the years.
He has a great way of mixing the business part of it, that things need to get done, with the fun and the excitement and the energy that our industry can bring to different events. And I think that's a very special individual that can really bring both of those together and make them seem like you're not really working hard, you're having a good time while you're doing it. But he has such a breadth of events in and of themselves, and so his history and his experience with all types of industry events, I don't think is matched too much with too many individuals.
Richard's had a great deal of impact on the industry, and specifically on a lot of us in the industry. Richard's always taken this approach in his work about betterment of the industry as a whole, and I think that's why he originally got involved with organizations like the International Live Events Association and the getting involved in sustainable events that he's done more recently. And I think that that's what they've really tried to do from a business perspective with BizBash, is to really lay some good standards and to help guide people through the industry in a way that we can all get some sort of foundational level. And he recognized really early on the power that volunteer organizations like the International Live Events Association and formerly the International Special Events Society have on not only what our industry can do as a whole, but on the sort of professional development of young people.
Well, I tell you, leadership has been the greatest journey, and that's what this whole Convention Industry Council brings together as leaders from all the associations, and I've served on the CIC boards and commissions, and the richness, the tapestry of learning with the other people in leadership from MPI, ILEA, formerly ISIS, several of the organizations I've been involved with, just being in leadership and growing the skills has been wonderful, to be in the leadership track and really learn how to communicate, work collaboratively, because before that I didn't have to, and really learning how to make a difference in terms of shaping practices and ideas. So in that capacity, being an industry board member and foundation chair of 3 foundations has been such an amazing experience, to be in that kind of leadership role where your job is to really train the next leader and encourage the outcomes, and that's been wonderful.
I went to find the smartest guy in the event industry in New York City when I started BizBash, and all roads led to Richard Aaron. I learned from that day, seek out the wisdom and you will find it. And Richard was the wisdom, and he certainly over the last 18 years has provided that same counsel to me and helped create our business and has become a fantastic friend. Words that I would use to describe Richard would be unpredictable in a good way, smart, engaging, forward-thinking, and always the professor. He is the professor no matter what. He uses every possible experience to be a learning experience for anyone in our industry.
I think Richard's legacy is really the enthusiasm and creativity that lives in the people that he has influenced. He has such an infectious way of sharing what's possible for others. And so that spark that he's helped create in others is his legacy, is the work that other people will do. It's not so much what he's done directly, certainly it's been wonderful, but it's really how that lives in people, some of whom won't even know Richard, but many of them will. And it's that enthusiasm and that creativity that will exist in others, that will outlive all of us.
Richard has united the industry in such a way that it will endure forever. As I said earlier, there is no prospect of an end. It will endure forever because of the way he's brought together the traditional field of meeting management with the emerging new field of events management to form a solid bond between these 2 disciplines to raise the quality for all professionals throughout the entire industry.
I think he's going to have legacy through ILEA and the International Live Events Association, and being involved in the beginnings of the New York chapter and the work that he's done with the Search Foundation, and through other organizations that I know that he's participated in at the board level and as a volunteer. So that people like me would have the opportunity to follow behind and continue the work that he and his peers started a long time ago.
I really have appreciated, if I can be remembered as someone who made a difference in people's lives and careers and professional development, and made them think, what could they do and how could they help create an industry?
I think one of the funniest things about Richard from my perspective is that I don't think I've ever had a conversation with him where he doesn't end up singing. He's just one of those guys that you can just be in mid-conversation with him and pretty soon he's dancing and singing show tunes because that's who he is. And it just makes me smile and laugh because it's so Richard, and he's just that guy, and he can be giving a presentation and pretty soon he's dancing a jig up on stage, and it's just who he is, and it's so endearing to kind of what his personality is and you know, his background. He's a theater guy, and you can just see it sort of lives in his soul.
Welcome, Richard, to the group of inductees. I'm so excited for you, and I am so proud for you and of you that you got here.
On behalf of everyone at the International Live Events Association, I just want to say congratulations, Richard. We're so happy and honored to have you in our membership. We're so excited for you to be receiving this honor tonight. It's so well deserved. Thanks for everything you've given to our organization over the years and that you've given to all of us personally. We are so grateful for all the work that you've done. Congratulations, very well deserved.
Being inducted into the Hall of Leaders has truly been a dream that came true, because I thought, what else could I accomplish? And I've had such a great journey, and I've dreamed so many dreams, but being installed this week in the Hall of Leaders means my dreams are fulfilled.